The rain fell in relentless sheets, drumming against the cracked pavement of a forgotten alley in a small coastal town. The air carried the sharp tang of salt from the nearby ocean, mingling with the sour stench of rotting garbage. It was the kind of night where shadows clung to every corner, and the world seemed to hold its breath. Amid this bleak scene, a faint, trembling sound pierced the storm, a weak, desperate mewling from a rusted dumpster tucked against a crumbling brick wall. Lila Carter, a barista at the town's only 24-hour diner, was dragging a trash bag to the alley after her shift. Her boots splashed through puddles, her auburn hair plastered to her face under the hood of her raincoat. She was bone-tired, her shift having stretched into the early hours of the morning, but that fragile cry stopped her cold. It wasn't the usual alley cat yowl, bold and territorial. This was something softer, more vulnerable, a plea. She dropped the trash bag and approached the dumpster, her heart thudding with a mix of curiosity and dread. The dumpster's lid was heavy, slick with rain, and it groaned as she pried it open. Inside, among soggy cardboard and discarded takeout containers, was a tiny, shivering kitten. Its fur, a patchwork of black and white, was matted with grime, and its wide amber eyes gleamed with a mixture of fear and defiance. It couldn't have been more than a few weeks old, small enough to fit in the palm of her hand. Wrapped around its neck was a tattered ribbon, faded red, knotted loosely as if it had once been a symbol of care. Lila's breath caught. Who would abandon such a fragile creature in a place like this? She scooped the kitten up, cradling it against her chest to shield it from the rain. It trembled, but didn't resist, its tiny body radiating a faint warmth that seemed to defy the cold. Lila hurried back to the diner, her mind racing. The kitten wasn't just abandoned. It felt like a mystery, a secret left in the dark for someone to unravel. The ribbon, the dumpster, the sachet, the storm, it all seemed too deliberate, too staged, as if the kitten was meant to be found. But by whom? And why? Inside the diner, the fluorescent lights buzzed faintly, casting a sterile glow over the empty booths. Lila set the kitten on the counter, wrapping it in a clean dish towel. She grabbed a saucer and poured a bit of milk, watching as the kitten lapped at it with surprising vigor. Its eyes never left her, as if sizing her up, deciding whether she was friend or foe. Lila couldn't shake the feeling that this wasn't a random stray. The ribbon, though frayed, had a quality to it. Silk, maybe, or something close. It hinted at a life before the dumpster, a life with someone who had tied it with care. She named the kitten Ember, for the spark in its eyes that refused to dim despite its ordeal. Over the next few days, Lila took Ember home to her small apartment above the diner. She bathed it, fed it, and watched it grow stronger, its playful pounces and curious sniffs bringing a lightness to her otherwise monotonous routine. But the mystery of Ember's origins gnawed at her. She posted flyers around town, on lampposts, in the library, at the grocery store, describing the kitten and where it was found. Found. Black and white kitten in dumpster on Bay Street. Red ribbon around neck. Do you know this cat? She included her phone number, hoping someone would claim it, though part of her dreaded the thought of giving Ember up. Days turned into weeks, and no one called. The town, small and tight-knit, buzzed with theories. Old Mrs. Hargrove, who ran the thrift shop, swore she'd seen a similar kitten in the arms of a woman who'd passed through town months ago, a stranger with sad eyes and a hurried gait. Tommy, the delivery boy, claimed he'd heard rumors of a wealthy recluse living in the hills who bred rare cats and might have lost one. But these were just whispers, fragments of speculation that led nowhere. Lila began to wonder if Ember's past was meant to stay buried. Then, one rainy afternoon, a clue emerged. Lila was sorting through a box of donated books at the library's charity sale when she found an old photograph tucked between the pages of a worn novel. It showed a young girl, maybe 10 years old, clutching a black and white kitten with a red ribbon around its neck. The girl's smile was bright, but her eyes held a shadow of sorrow. On the back of the photo, in neat, looping handwriting, were the words, "Clara and Muffin, Summer 24. The date was recent, barely a year ago. Lila's pulse quickened. Was Ember Muffin? And who was Clara? She showed the photo to the librarian, Ms. Evelyn, who frowned and tapped her chin. "That looks like Clara Delaney," she said after a long pause. "Her family lived here briefly last year. Quiet folks, kept to themselves. They moved away suddenly. No one knew why. I heard they had a rough time. Something about the father losing his job." Miss Evelyn's voice softened. Clara loved that kitten, carried it everywhere. Lila's stomach twisted. Had Clara's family abandoned Ember? Or had something else happened? She tracked down the Delaney's last known address, a small rental house on the edge of town. The place was empty now, its windows dark, but a neighbor, Mr. Ruiz, remembered the family. "Nice people, but troubled," he said, leaning on his rake. "The girl, Clara, she was heartbroken when they left. Kept talking about her kitten, how she didn't want to leave it behind. I figured they took it with them." The story didn't add up. If Clara loved her kitten, why was Ember in a dumpster? Lila dug deeper, scouring social media for any trace of the Delaneys. She found a profile for a Clara Delaney, now living in a city 2 hours away. The page was private, but a single public post caught Lila's eye. A drawing of a black and white kitten with a red ribbon, captioned, "I miss you, Muffin. I hope you're safe." The post was dated a week after Ember was found. Lila's heart ached. She messaged Clara, attaching a photo of Ember and a simple note. "Is this Muffin? I found her in a dumpster on Bay Street. She's safe now." Hours passed with no reply, then days. Lila began to lose hope, but she couldn't stop thinking about Clara's drawing, the love etched into every line. Ember, meanwhile, had become her shadow, curling up on her lap each night, purring like a tiny motor. Lila wondered if Ember sensed the weight of her own mystery, if she carried memories of a girl who'd loved her fiercely. Then, one evening, Lila's phone pinged. It was Clara. Her message was short but raw. "That's Muffin. I didn't know. We had to leave so fast, and Dad said we couldn't take her. I thought he gave her to a shelter. I'm so sorry." Attached was a photo of Clara, older now, her eyes red from crying. Lila felt a surge of anger. How could someone leave a kitten in a dumpster? But it was tempered by pity. Clara was just a kid, caught in her family's chaos. Lila arranged to meet Clara and her mother at a park halfway between their towns. The reunion was quiet, almost sacred. Clara, small for her age, knelt in the grass, tears streaming as Ember, Muffin, nuzzled her hand. The kitten's amber eyes flickered with recognition, or so it seemed. Clara's mother explained they'd been evicted, forced to move overnight. Her husband, overwhelmed, had left Muffin in the alley believing someone would find her. It was a cruel choice, but not Clara's. Lila faced a decision. Ember had become her companion, her spark in the dark, but Clara's love for Muffin was undeniable, a bond forged in brighter days. In the end, Lila handed Ember over, her throat tight. "She's yours," she said, managing a smile. Clara hugged her, whispering thanks through sobs. As they drove away, Ember's amber eyes met Lila's one last time, a silent acknowledgement of their shared chapter. Lila returned to her apartment, the silence heavier now. But the mystery of the dumpster kitten had changed her. She began volunteering at the local shelter, her heart open to new stories, new sparks. Somewhere out there, Ember was home, and that was enough.